Hello everybody, and today we have the qualifying session for the Chinese Grand Prix. And our championship leader is Erika Hanebusa from Zauber. Zauber is also leading the championship. And that's something interesting. So who's going to get the pole position today, we still don't know. So let's find it out right now. Another qualifying session with good weather conditions, good hot sunny weather. Talking about the penalties, the Malaysian Grand Prix was just a crazy race, and 10 penalties were given. 7 of them were the time penalties, and 3 the grid penalties for the Chinese Grand Prix for this one. And these penalties were 5 places grid penalty for Tilsley for causing a collision with Oven on lap 1. It's the first penalty. The second penalty is 5 places grid penalty for Oven for another accident with his teammate Abovic, causing a collision, also lap 1. And the third penalty is a penalty for Berta Kieslin for causing a collision on lap 11. After all these penalties, after all 7 time penalties, the race result was slightly changed. Even with a 10 seconds time penalty for Aditya Bagus, he has finished on P1, and counting this penalty, it's still 33 seconds gap between Aditya Bagus and Erika Hanebusa, who finished on second. And because of the penalty for Abovic for causing a collision with Hidayat, head of Abovic, and Abovic is on P8, and Samet Oskan has also got a penalty and moved on to P11, so no points for him. After 2 pole positions, it's 0 points for Samet and for Toro Rosso. Anyways, let's start the qualifying session at Shanghai, China. That's how the pit lane looks like. Okay, and we already have the first cars making their way into the track, and the first one is Travis Daniel from Mercedes. He has scored only 2 points this season. Also on the track right now we have Samet Oskan, already 2 pole positions, which actually were caused by a mistake in the performance files. The mistake was the problem was solved, and now his crazy qualifying performance is going to be stopped. Also have Colin Chapman scored a couple of points for HRT in the last race. He has finished on P6. Ahead of him was his teammate Emil Nielsen on P5. A phenomenal result for HRT after just 1 point last season, scored by Yuri Gabriel, and here is Yuri's teammate. This season is Aditya Bagas. I think we already know that. The next one we have Arnold, Tilsley, Hidayat, Vucic Armin, Beethoven, who has not scored any points this season, unlike his teammate, who scored only 4 points for McLaren. Of course, not the best performance by the British team. Berta Kieslin, who has got a penalty. As have already set for cosmic collision with Yuri Gabriel. Also have Lionel Messi and Daniel Fraser, who's leading the Malaysian Grand Prix, but then a collision between him and Bagus has happened. Bagus has got a 10-second time penalty, but even after this penalty, he has got the win. Yuri Gabriel, sadly, he also has not scored any points. Also Victor Aitken. Victor is on P21 in the standings, no points. Okay, Daniel has finished his lap, 140.4. Samet Oskan, and yeah, he's 2 seconds down. Colin Chapman, P4, Bagus P1. Tilsley and Arnold trying to make a move on Tilsley, but it's too late. And let's take a look at the lap time, 142.7, P5, P6 Arnold, Hidayat P7, Owen P4, P3 Kiesley, and P10 Vucic Armin. Daniel Fraser from Ferrari set 3rd fastest lap time, Lionel Messi P10, and Yuri Gabriel P1. 6 tenths ahead of his teammate Aditya Bagas. Victor Aitken is showing 11th fastest time of the session, and that's all for the first flying laps in this session. We have Red Bull 1-2, and then Daniel from Mercedes, another Daniel, Fraser, and Berta Kieslin, completing the top 5. A good result by Yuri. And he's overtaking Lionel Messi. Yellow flag. Oh, it's a GT Bagos. Oh dear, looks like it's a collision with Chapman. Looks like it's a collision with Chapman. Let's take a look at the replay. Trying to make a move around the inside, the risky move, and he just turns into him. He was trying, was he actually defending? No, he was making a move around the inside, but look, Chapman is gaining a lot of speed there and stays ahead. Aditya just does not give up, and here's the crash, which is going to be investigated after the session. It should have been a red flag, but everybody is already making their way into the pit lane. So let's just continue. And a lot of debris on the track. Chapman's trying to do something with his steering wheel, but it's still the qualifying session over for him. And even if he is going to put the faster lap times, it's still not going to count. And even if Aditya is going to make it to Q2, which is probably going to happen, he is not going to put any lap times in the session. Okay, we have almost everybody in the pit lane, Kieslin and Daniel. Looks like a bit of traffic on the pit lane. Yeah. Has nothing to do there, just staying. And looks like it's going to happen again. This Mercedes bug is going to happen once again. The cars are just standing, doing nothing. Anyways, let's continue. We have Jafari Blackwood on the track. Still yellow flags there because of Chapman toast. And also the Taurus of Victor Aitken is now on P11, another HRT, it's Emil Nilsson. Looks like a McLaren of Abubovic. And it's Tanya Fraser, I guess. Yes, it's him. Also Santino Andreoli, Rosetta Martinez, who's showing fantastic results already on P4 in standings. Max Mittler on P6 after P4 in Australia. Erika Hane was our championship leader. I think nobody was expecting that. Zabra is going to lead the championship with Force India second and Red Bull only on P3. Actually, the top teams are looking really bad at the start of the season. Red Bull P3, 25 points, and 27 points gap between Force India and Red Bull. Ferrari on P6, 12 points. These P4 by Max Midler. The next one is McLaren on P9, 4 points, and 2 points for Mercedes on P10. Okay, Jafar Blackwood is on the flying lap. We have 8 minutes left. We also have Samet Ozkan. He's on P7. Jafar Blackwood is about to set his lap time, and it's going to be 1:42, 1:43 seconds by Jafari, Samet Ozkan, and Fernando Tost from Williams. And it's going to be 1:42, 43.3, P13 for Fernando. Victor Aitken, who is on P12, improving on the middle sector, and now it's going to be 1:42.8, P11. Emil Nielsen with P5 at Malaysia, 1:44 seconds, P16 at risk, and already on P17 as Aboy sets the 5th fastest lap time. Dave Fraser moves up into P2.
Well done, great drive.
Satya Andreoli is going to be P14, Max Miller P7, and Martinez only P17. Really bad performance by Rosetta in the qualifying, but talking about the races, he has a fantastic pace. Beethoven on P4. And now Samet Ozkan is on P9. Two poles, 0 points. Down the main straight, Samet Ozkan, and it's going to be an improvement by 7/10, and he's now on P9. Good result. We have 4.5 seconds between P1 of Gabriel and P22 of Armin. And we actually have Colin Chapman on P10, 3 seconds slower than Gabriel. Actually, there are huge gaps today. Eric Hanem was on P14. Now we have only Sametoskan on the track right now, and he's making his way into the pits. One of the Lotuses is going to leave the garage, and it's Hidayat. Also have Vucic Armin. On the track right now only P22, even slower than Nielsen on HRT. Yeah, a lot of people calling this car Lotus, but this car actually has a Lotus performance. At the moment, P22 for Armin and Andreoli on P16.
2 minutes remaining.
Yeah, 2 minutes remaining. Talking about the standings, Rena is on P7, 9 points. 8 points by Vucic Armin and 1 point by Santino Andreoli. On the last race, at Malaysia, after Sametoskan getting penalties. Yeah, not a penalty, penalties. 2 penalties were given for Samet. The first one was for causing a collision with Daniel on lap 35. Then both of them have spun. And the second one was 10 seconds time penalty for causing a collision with Arnold. And looks like Vucic has got some traffic ahead. Traffic or slipstream, I don't know. Probably it's slipstream. Or traffic. No, it's a traffic. And it's going to be a lap ruined for Vucic with the championship leader ahead, but it's Albert. Okay, Hidayat, no improvement on sector 1. We also have Fernando Tost. Five seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, and looks like Jafar is not going to make it in time. But anyways, he's on P15 and he's a danger. Okay. Emil is going to stay on P21. Erika probably on P14. Vucic Armin losing 2.2 seconds after sector 2, and there's going to be 142.8 that hits P13, an improvement on the final sector, and it's P13 for him, but for how long? Hirayat is not improving, but he's still on P12. This is going to be P12 for Hidayat. Rosetta not making it in time, and he's going to stay on P19. Here comes Toast, and there's going to be no improvement. Arnold P18, Gabriel no improvement, Bobovic P5, Aditya bug is okay. It does not count. Tiles Lee. P10. And yes, it's the session over. And it's over with the yellow flag. It's Abovich. It's Abovich. What has happened there? Looks like it's going to be another crash. And probably it's the fault of Yuri? No, it's the fault of Bargus. I think Aditya is going to receive 2 penalties today. Yeah, that was the Q1. We have Andrea Oli on P17, Arnold P18, Toast P19, Martinez P20, Messi P21 and Nielsen P22. We are going to have 3 cars in Q2 which are not going to get out of the garage because of the crashes, collisions. The first one was Burgos and Chapman colliding, forcing both of them to retire, and the third one was Sabovovich getting hit by Burgos. Okay, let's get ready for Q2, where only 13 cars are going to have a battle for the top 10 place. Q3. See you in a couple of minutes. We're back ready for Q2, where only 13 cars are going to participate because of 6 cars not making it into Q2 and also 3 cars. One of them is Buggers, causing a collision with Chapman and forcing him to retire, I would say. Aditya Buggers then also collided with Abubovich, and both of them, crashed, so they are not going to participate in Q2. Only 13 drivers. Okay, Q2, here we go. Well, it's laggy, I don't know what's the problem. Well, let's continue. It's a bit laggy there, but looks like the problem is solved now. Looks like Jafar Blackwood is going to leave the garage first. And a bit of traffic at the pit lane. We have Daniel, Blackwood, Aitken, his teammate Oskan, Vucic Armin, Erika Hanebusa, Hidayat, on Lotus looks like Max Mittler, then his teammate Daniel Fraser, another Zauber, Tiles Lee, Yuri Gabriel, Berta Kieslin, on Mercedes, and is that all? No, we also have Baked Oven here, on McLaren, and now I guess that's all, yeah. Crossing the line and starting his flying lap, Daniel. Hundred 80, almost 190 kilometers per hour. Breakpoint there, a couple of fast corners, almost full gas. And his second sector 55.031. Now the longest straight of the track. Now the final corner car comes the Rebels Daniel, and it's going to be 1:39.7 by him. Jafari Blackwood 1:42.8 P2. Victor Aitken even faster, but 3 seconds gap. Summit Oskan only P4, even slower. Vucic Armin P4, ahead of Summit Erika Hanebusa, and it's going to be only P6. Very slow lap times. Hidayat is going to be P6, a bit faster than Hanebusa. Smither P2, Fraser P1.
Well done, we're on pole.
Tiles Lee P7, Gabriel P3, Kieslin P5. Baked Oven, the last driver on P2.
First row, well done,
And we
great
have
drive.
Oskan P11, Hidayat P12, and Hanebusa P13. And we have somebody from Red Bull Pit Crew already being prepared for their driver. Or not, yeah. And we have Lotus engineers ahead of Sametoskan. Actually waiting for another driver, and it's Adam Hidayat on P12. Erika Hanebus all the way down on P13, the championship leader. And here is her teammate, Tilsley on P10. Everybody's in the pits. 4 seconds gap between Fraser and Hanebusa. It looks like it's going to be Jafar Blackwood and Daniel getting out of the pit lane to the track. Also have Fuchi Charmian between them. He's on P9. Lotus of Hidayat. His teammate has finished the qualifying on P21. Berta Kieslin, Jack Tilsley, Victor Aitken. Anyways, let's take a look at Armin, who's now on P9 at risk. His teammate is on P17, was on P17 in Q1. And of course it's a bad result, even if you're at Renault. It's not the slowest team. It's a midfield team which is able to fight for big points like P6, P7. But we have Renault on P17 and P9. Of course, not the best results. Jafar Blackwood on P8. His teammate was on P20. Rosetta Martinez. Talking about Martinez and the qualifying sessions, in Malaysia he was on P20, in Australia he was on P13. Of course, not the best results. While Jafari was P14 at Australia. And then P10 at Malaysia. So in Australia, Blackwood and Martinez finished the qualifying in Q2. Then in Malaysia, after Australia, Blackwood was in Q3, Martinez on Q1, and the same story happens again, I guess. If Jafari is going to make it into Q3, he's now on P8, and he improves by 1/10 of a second. At the middle sector, which Charmin also improves. Daniel improves. So let's see who's going to have a battle for the pole in Q3. I think it's of course going to be Daniel, Fraser, Owen, Gabriel, Smith or Kieslin, but who else? Daniel completes his lap and he is not improving. Unluckily, Vucci Charmin from Renault. He was on P9 and now on P7. Good lap. P9 for Jafari Blackwood. Adam Hidayat unluckily not improving in the middle sector. So what's going to happen to him? He's now on P12. and it's no improvement still on P12. 1 second slower than his personal best. Bertak is in up into P6. Tilsley is going to be P7. Armin moves down to P9 as Aitken moves up into P8 on Taurus. Was about his teammate Samatoskan already to pole positions, but now he's on P11, 3.6 seconds slower than Fraser. Down the final corner comes the Turkish driver, and it's going to be 1:43 and no improvement, only 15 thousandths of a second slower than his personal best. Max meter no improvement, stays on P5. Erika Hanebusa is going to be Q3, probably on P10 at the moment. Dane Fraser is not improving, and we have only 2 minutes left. Beethoven on P2. No improvement after the middle sector, of course, stays on P2. And now Yuri Gabriel is on P4. No improvement. Looks like that's all. We still have 2 minutes of the session, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Hanebusa is going to make it into Q3. Actually, talking about her qualifying performance at Australia, it was only P20. In Malaysia it was P16, and this time it's going to be Q3 for Erika, if I'm not mistaken. If everything is already over, I think yes it is. Yes, congratulations, Q1, Q2, and then Q3 for Erika. We have Blackwood, Oscar, and Hidayat out the qualifying session after Q2, and also Abovovich, Bogus, and Chapman not even starting the session. One minute remaining, and we already know that it's over. Yeah, so let's finish. Blackwood P11, Oscan P12, Hidayat P13, then I think Abobovich P14, P15 Bogus, and P16 Chapman. So let's get ready for Q3 and see you in a couple of minutes. Okay, we're ready to start the Q3. Who's going to get the pole position today? We still don't know. So you can make your predictions in the chat. Let's start the Q3, 15 minutes to put as to put the best lap possible to battle for the pole position. Our pole contenders are Victor Aitken, Erika Hanebusa, Tilsley, Armin, Daniel, Kiesley, and Fraser, Smitler, Owen, Yuri Gabriel, not you, Victor Aitken, yeah, it's already, I've already said their names, so have Yuri Gabriel, Shake Tilsley, Dane Fraser, Victor Aitken, Daniel, Hanebusa, Kiesley, and Smitler, and I guess that's all. No, and also Beethoven. And which Chairman. Probably we're going to see the new pole sitter today. Probably it's going to be Yuri Gabriel. Maybe it's going to be Dane Fraser. Who knows? So it's time to find out. Yuri Gabriel starts his flying lap. Right behind him is the Zauber driver Shay Tilsley. Two Zaubers made their way into Q3. The championship leader Hanebusa and Tilsley. Here Gabriel 24.6. Yuri Gabriel down the final couple of corners comes the Brazilian with his Sergio Perez 2020 helmet. And now he's going to set his first lap time of this Q3 and it's 1:39.5, not bad. The next one is Jake Tilsley. Of course he's not going to battle for the pole, but who knows, 2.6 seconds down. Dane Fraser, and it's going to be 1:40, 4/10 of a second slower than Yuri Gabriel. Victor Aitken, already 2 pole positions for Toro Rosso, but probably not the third one. Victor Aitken even slower than Tilsley on P4. Drops Daniel, probably has a chance to get the pole P2, but it's really close between Daniel and Fraser. Kieslin P4, Hanebasa P8, Smither actually takes P4 ahead of Berta Kieslin. And now it's time for Oven P4 and Wuchi Charmin. Okay, advertisement time. You can join our Discord server by the link in the description. We have, I don't know, memes about the races, also discussing the races and so on. Also here you can commentate, just type in the general I want to commentate XD and okay, you are hired. And also don't forget to sign up for the Formula Renault if you haven't done it already. You can find the sign-ups in the YouTube channel or on our Discord server. You can sign up even if you have the Formula 1 seat. The only rule is to sign up a driver with a different name. A good result for Zaber, P7 and P9, considering they are the championship leaders. And they have 9 points gap ahead of Force India's. Red Bull 27 points down on Force India, a huge gap. And then HRT on P4, the great HRT master plan with 19 points, 14 points for Lotus, 12 for Ferrari, 9 Renault, 4 points for Williams and McLaren, and 2 points for Mercedes, still 0 for Toro Rosso. I don't know why I'm reading the Constructors Championship, but let's continue with the Drivers one. Erika Libanekane was on P1, 43 points, 30 points Jafari Blackwood, who has not made it into Q3, even not into Q2, Aditya Bagus. which caused the crash in Q1 with Chapman, Rosetta Martinez P4, Jake Talsley P5, he's on P7. In the qualifying, Max Mittler P6, he's now on P5 at the moment in Q3. Adam Hidayat P7, 12 points, the same amount as Max Mittler has. Then Emil Nielsen 11 points, HRT, Woods Charmin 8 points, Renault, and 8 points by Colin Chapman Jr., who's racing for HRT. At the moment we have Talsley starting his flying lap. Fernando Tolson P11, 4 points, 4 points for Bobovic, P12, 2 points for Lionel Messi and Santi Andreoli, P14, P15, and P13, P14, Lionel Messi, Darabas Daniel, 2 points, 1 point for Santi Andreoli, P15. Okay, Talsley is improving on the first sector by 700ths of a second, and Fraser is the fastest after in sector 1, improving on his personal best in this sector by a half of a second, 2 tenths faster, almost 3 tenths faster than Yuri Gabriel, who is also improving on his personal best, but it's not enough to be faster than Fraser. Smittler faster than Gabriel, not faster than Fraser. Berta Kieslin, and looks like another improvement in sector 1. A 6 tenths of a second by Fraser. Yuri Gabriel by 3 thousandths of a second slower than his personal best. Max Mittler is not improving on Yuri Gabriel's lap time. What about Berta Kieslin? But anyways, let's take a look at Daniel Fraser. Comes down the final corner and it might be the pole position for him. And 38, 39, it is going to be a pole position, no, only P3, only P3.
Second row, well done.
He is 1 second slower than Gabriel on sector 3. Victory Aitken, no improvement. Is Yuri Gabriel really that fast in the final sector? Okay, let's take a look. Yuri Gabriel is going to be 139.9, no improvement. Max Mittler on P4. Berta Kieslin, improvement on both sectors. But what about the final sector? No pole position for Daniel Fraser after 2 fantastic first sectors. That is going to be P1 for Berta Kieslin. It's going to be a pole position, I guess. But it's not over yet. There was Daniel, no improvement on sector 1, on sector 2, and of course no improvement on the final sector. Erika Hanebusa now on P9, no improvement, and looks like it's a pole position for Berta Kieslin for Mercedes. Actually, Berta already had a pole position in his Formula 1 career. It was in 2010. Over not improving. Vucharmin is the only one on the flying lap, and it is going to be Berta Kieslin on pole position of the Chinese Grand Prix. Vucharmin P9 ahead of Hanebusa, who's going to start on P10. Or not, because of the penalties, but who cares? It's Berta Kieslin. Considering the 5 places grid penalty, is going to be P1 in the qualifying for Berta. Fantastic result. Yeah, it was a pole position at Japan for Berta Kieslin, Japan 2010. And here's the second pole position in his career. That's all for today. See you tomorrow for the race. And goodbye.